How's everybody? Look, I was really pleased with the way we played in the second half. I thought we didn't play poorly in the first half. We just turned the ball over, didn't finish drives in the red zone, gave them the ball on the 8-yard line, which is when they got their touchdown. So, but you know, at halftime, in games like this, we knew this would be a tough game. We had a tough game with these guys last year. We know what kind of team they are. They're well coached, play with a lot of toughness. This is when you find out who you are and how bad you want to do what you want to do. So I thought the guys came out and responded really well in the second half. And, you know, the big play from Jake to, you know, Calvin was a big momentum changer in the game. And I think from that time on, we dominated pretty well until they hit the scramble pass, you know, at the end. You know, their quarterback did a really good job of, it's really hard to sack. The guy's very elusive, and we did a good job of pressuring him, but he got out of there a couple times on us and hurt us a few times with the scramble pass, as well as scrambling for a couple first downs. But all in all, you know, I thought our defense played extremely well in this game. And I thought, you know, we moved the ball effectively on offense. We just didn't finish a couple times in the red zone, and got to take care of the ball. We can't turn the ball over. That's going to be real critical for us. And even though we got one turnover in the second half, I thought the field position was really good, and the kicking game had a lot to do with that. J.K. did a good job with the punting, except, you know, the one that was partially blocked was not his fault. It was a breakdown in protection. And you know, kickoff coverage did a great job of putting them in bad field position, and then the return game, you know, also changed field position a couple times on punts. So big play in the game was, you know, stopping their little fake punt thing, which we knew they had, and I think our players did a good job of rallying because we really were in a return. But very, very proud of the way our players responded to the challenge, and I think it speaks a lot of the competitive character of the team, and really excited about how we played in the second half.
Right side with the air, we'll start.
Nick, you mentioned you knew they had the fake punt. Did they tip it, or did you tell your guys to watch out for it going out there?
No, we told them to watch out for it. You know, we've been going punt safe, and we had a little better field position, and I didn't know if they'd do it, so we had a return on, but you know, we had practiced that against the return as well, and the guys did a good job of responding to it.
Yeah, Jake threw a couple interceptions, but came back, kind of get that big touchdown. How would you assess his night overall?
Well, you know, you never want a guy to throw any interceptions, and, you know, the one was a bad interception, the first one, where, you know, he kind of threw it up and the free safety intercepted it. You know, the second one was just a little bit high and came off the receiver's hand, so it was a tip ball. Then we got the penalty on top of that, which gave him the ball at the 8-yard line. So, you know, you never want those. One was a bad decision, one was not a bad decision. And he made some really good throws. And, you know, we got to do a better job of protecting, and we got to be a little bit more consistent in our ability to block, you know, movement up front, which was a little bit of an issue for us in this game and probably gave us a few too many negative plays.
In the middle with Matt.
Nick, two questions. First of all, with Calvin tonight, what did you see from him, Calvin Ridley, and what was the design on the touchdown? What were you guys looking for? What did you see that opened
Well,
up?
you know, they play quarters coverage almost all the time to the field, and a rolled up corner, cover 2 into the boundary, if you really know what that means. I mean, so you're asking me what we saw. I can't tell you in layman terms, but you send one guy down to eat the safety, and you run a post on the other guy, and he gets no help from the safety. So that was the design of the play, and when you play that a lot, you know, everybody runs that pattern against quarters coverage. And we were fortunate to catch him in it when we called it. That's what we wanted. That's what we were looking for, and ran a great route, and it was a great throw. So really big play in the game.
And what did you guys do? What was behind limiting their running back, Alex Collins, like you guys did?
Well, you know, we played straight-up base defense. I mean, we did a pretty good job against them last year. You know, they got a really good offensive line. Our guys are always up for the challenge when they play against a good running team, and this is certainly a really good running team. And, you know, overall, I thought we did a really good job of staying in our gaps and controlling line of scrimmage, and that was a real key, because when these guys gain 5 and 6 yards on you on first down and you're always in a negative down and distance, it gets difficult to play. But we created a lot of 3rd and long situations, which is easier to pressure. and easier to play coverage on. So it all kind of wraps up into helping you play good defense.
Front here with Mark. Just sort of piggybacking on that, what did you see from Reggie Ragland tonight? It seemed like he was kind of all over the place.
Reggie played a really good game tonight. He had lots of tackles and, knocked down a couple balls, and really was a good leader out there. So, Reggie's played well for us all year, and this was probably one of his best games.
Coach, you wanted to see consistency after last week. You wanted to see if they could maintain that from last week. What would your assessment of that be?
Well, I think we played a different kind of team today. And I think if we finish the drives in the first half and score points and don't miss 2 field goals and don't turn the ball over, everybody would be saying, did great. Moved the ball, outgained them, almost 2-1 if they didn't hit a 54-yard pass in the end. So, there was a lot of good things. There's a lot of things that need to be corrected that we need to work on so that we can improve. So, because we got lots of challenges, ahead of us starting this week. So, I didn't think there was any kind of letdown. I thought the players played hard. I thought they were physical. I thought they played with a lot of effort. We just didn't always execute as well as we'd like, especially on offense in a couple situations. So we just got to learn to be more consistent. When we're focused, when we prepare well and we're focused, we seem to play really well. But I was really pleased with the way we played the second half.
In the middle with John.
I guess how challenging was it for the offensive line to impose its will against that Arkansas defensive front, and just kind of what progression did you see over the course of the game?
Well, their defense does a great job. I mean, they don't load the box a lot. Their guys do play with a lot of discipline up front. They get off blocks. The nose guard's difficult to block. 51 is an outstanding player, the Mike linebacker. They just really do a great job of they can run. Secondary doesn't give up very many big plays, and we were fortunate to make a big one against them tonight. So this is a really good defensive team, and I'm sure when we watch the film, we're not going to be pleased all the time with how we blocked them. But at the end of the day, we did what we needed to do to have success in the game.
2 more. Alex and then Scott.
It looked like the plan early on was to establish the passing game. Was that the idea going in, or what was the?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
It looked like the plan was to establish the passing game early. Was that the plan going into the game, or did that just happen?
Are you asking me if our plan was to stop their passing game?
Establish your passing game.
Establish the pass? A lot of those things that are passes are run-pass options. All right, so it depends on what the defense plays as to whether you run the ball or you throw a bubble pass or a slant or whatever. And the right decisions were made, and we moved the ball effectively. So it's not like we were just calling drop-back passes. So, and I think that's part of modern-day football. So we weren't trying to establish the pass. We were calling running plays that had passes attached to them. So when they were in certain defenses, we threw the passes instead of running. I think everybody does that.
Last one, Scott.
It seemed like you made Brandon uncomfortable in the second half in the pocket, and then Jake got more comfortable. Can you elaborate on both those? You said key to the game there.
Well, I think that, we had a couple times where he scrambled, and we even rushed 3 guys and had one guy spying him to mirror him, and he still beat that guy and got out the box and ran. And but our guys did a pretty good job of pushing the pocket. I mean, even on the last play where they hit the touchdown, that was just it was a great scramble by him to extend the play. And we were playing 500 2-deep man, and when people scramble, it takes a lot of discipline in the secondary to stay on your man, to stay in coverage and not lose your guy. And if you look back at the quarterback, you're going to lose him, and that's what happened. So it was a really good play by him. But I was pleased with the pressure that we got on him and the way we pushed the pocket. Last year we tried to pressure him a lot and with 5- and 6-man rushes, and they just killed us with crossing routes. So that really wasn't the plan today, and we didn't do it a lot. When we did it, it was effective.
Thanks, Coach.